County Board of Supervisors meeting to order. At this time, the first item of business is invocation and pledge of allegiance, and will be led by Supervisor Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We typically close our eyes when we pray. We do so to avoid distractions and to focus on what we're doing. That makes a lot of sense, but I'm going to ask you to do something a little different tonight. I want you to focus every bit as hard as you would with your eyes shut, but I'm asking you to join me in praying with your eyes wide open. As we pray, let us look outward into the communities that we serve. Help us see those who are hungry and those who are cold. Help us see those who are experiencing physical pain or mental anguish. Help us see those who have lost a job, those who have lost a place to live, those who have lost a loved one, and those who may have lost hope. Help us also see our fellow supervisors and our county employees as a small army of workers dedicated to making Rock County a helpful, healthy, and hopeful place. In this season of hope, let us capture the spirit of joy that accompanies new beginnings and help us recognize that while individually we can't do everything, that each of us can do something and that together we can accomplish great things. Help us focus on the work at hand this evening and on into the future. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next item is roll call, please.
Bob Zine. Here. Belke. Here. Bostwick. Here. Bryan. Here. Cullen. Here. Fugelseth. Here. Gorman. Here. Holman. Here. Knutson. Marshall. Here. Mawhinney. Here. Pure. Present. Pennycook. Here. Rashkin. Here. Ringhan. Here. Ryan. Here. Schneider. Here. Schulz. Here. Schwartz. Here. Stevens. Stone. Here. Sutter. Here. Sutherland. Here. Tillman. Towns. Here. Whitledge. Here. Wilson. Here. Woodman. Here. Levy.
Here.
26 present, 3 absent.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item, 4, consent agenda. 4A, adoption of agenda. 4B, approval of minutes from November 12th, and November 14th. Nominations, appointments, and confirmations. C1, appointment to the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. C2, appointment to the Veterans Service Commission. C3, appointments to the Transportation Coordinating Committee. D, recognition of county employees or others. D1, recognizing Sandra Hill. D2, recognizing Tommy Woodstock. D3, recognizing Laura Kraus. E1, amending the 2024 HSD budget to accept ADR C modernization funds. E2, accepting additional overdose data to action, grant funds, and amending the 2025 Rock County Public Health Department budget. E3, authorizing acceptance of the Anti-Heroin Task Force COPS grant and amending the 2025 Sheriff's Office budget. E4, authorizing acceptance of the Anti-Amphetamine Task Force COPS grant and amending the 2025 Sheriff's Office budget. E5, approving 2025 Human Services Department provider contracts. E6, approving the enhancement of audiovisual systems in courtrooms and jury assembly room. That is the end of the consent agenda.
Would anyone like anything removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve? Motion by Bostwick, second by Mawhinney. All in favor of approval, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes. Next item, please.
Next item is item 5, public hearing. 5A, creating Chapter 3, Part 9 of the Rock County Ordinances, jail inmate cost, first reading.
This is on our agenda for a first reading tonight, and I will call on Supervisor Schwartz.
This is a public hearing.
I'm sorry, my mistake. This is a public hearing. I would like to open a public hearing on item 5A this evening. Is there anyone wishing here tonight to speak on item 5A? Second call, anyone wishing to speak on item 5A this evening? Third and final call, anyone wishing to speak on item 5A this evening? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing on item 5A. Next item, please.
Next item is public hearing 5B, repealing and recreating Rock County Ordinance 2.202, foreclosure of tax liens by action in rem. First reading.
Thank you. This is also a public hearing on item 5B this evening. Anyone wishing to speak on item 5B this evening, please come forward. Second call, anyone wishing to speak on item 5B this evening. Third and final call, anyone wishing to speak on item 5B this evening. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing on item 5B. Next item, please.
Next item is 6, citizen participation, communications, and announcements. We have 2 citizens who have signed up to speak. When you come up, please come up through the center to the podium. You'll state your name and municipality. You'll be given 2 minutes to speak. Our first speaker is Max Olson. On deck is Sheila Williams.
Hi, everyone. Is this on? I think so, yeah. My name is Max Olson. I live in Milton. I'm a sophomore at Milton High School, and I'm speaking before you tonight to speak in favor of the Youth and Governance Pilot Program resolution tonight. This resolution before you today is the culmination of almost a year and a half of work and studying and looking at what we could do. It started off in July of 2023 with me contacting Supervisor Wilson and looking at what we could do to involve youth in Rock County's government to a greater extent. And then we had a series of meetings with the Ad Hoc Youth and Governance Exploratory Committee, and now we are here. This pilot program presents a significant opportunity for Rock County, for its citizens, and for the Board of Supervisors, as involving youth to a greater extent will allow us to, it will first and foremost, it will bring a new perspective to Rock County's government. So we bring the youth perspective, giving them something of a forum in our committees to make their voice heard. Additionally, Rock County's residents will also gain from this because they will be getting a more diverse viewpoint of, and a more diverse representation of the populace of Rock County as a whole. And I would like to thank Supervisor Wilson, Supervisor Towns, and Supervisor Sutherland for their advocacy on behalf of this program, and they've been strong supporters from the beginning, and obviously now we're here, and that's all I've got. So thank you, guys.
Thank you. Next speaker is Sheila Williams.
Sheila Williams, Janesville, Wisconsin, and I'm here tonight to speak in opposition of the Youth and Governance program that you have before you tonight for several reasons. One of them is that it really is a duplication of what Wisconsin schools are required by Department of Public Instruction to do. I reached out to some Rock County school staff and also Department of DPI. All students in Wisconsin have a civics graduation requirement, and the schools provide learning opportunities via government civics course. Students must pass the citizenship test for graduation. On the 100-question exam, they need to score 65 out of 100 to pass. Youth would be given a higher priority than the public. Youth can currently attend all meetings, speak on issues no different than the public can, but they have chosen not to. They also can email their supervisors or any supervisor and request public records. Since you would be giving students more civic rights than the public, you would be dramatically changing the current structure of our government process. In addition, the board rules and state statutes do not provide for minors to actively participate in our government at this level. In addition, I have concerns about the processes used by the ad hoc committee that I feel need to be addressed. You have allowed an 8th grader to serve and be appointed on a committee as a member of the public. In addition, Supervisor Wilson and Towns have allowed Erin Conway to fully participate and function as an appointed committee member, even though she was not officially appointed as such. With the behavior and questionable leadership, you would be actually providing a poor example of our county, of to our county youth of how our county government is intended to function. Thank you.
That was the last person that signed up to speak. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak this evening?
Seeing none, is there any communication from supervisors? Supervisor Boswick?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My church, Trinity Episcopal Church, is just winding up our 2-week run of supervising and feeding the residents at the Men's Homeless Gifts Shelter here in Janesville. To date, it's been very successful and rewarding experience. I recommend that everyone try it at some point just to see how it goes. It might change your outlook on homeless people. I'd like to thank Supervisors Belke, Schneider, Pennycook, Stone, and Wilson, as well as Facilities Director Brent Sutherland for pitching in this go-around. You guys made a big difference, and I thank you.
Any Supervisor Pennycook?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Supervisor Belke and I are going to do a book drive for the new jail. A lot of they have a lot of romance. They're looking more for mystery type books, self-help type books. You can contact either one of us, or books can be dropped off at my shop, Southern Exposure, 1617 West Court Street. They do need to be paperback books.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Any other communication from supervisors? Seeing none, at your table, you will see a timeline for the recruitment process for the county administrator. You will see that as we go through the process, one of the things that we would like to do is keep the supervisors informed, to be transparent of what we're doing. So this is a timeline of where we are and what we have accomplished thus far, and we will continue to update this timeline as we move forward. And as we get closer to the interview process, you will be getting more information. But I was encouraged to also announce that we would, when we ask supervisors for questions, we did get several questions from supervisors, so I want to just publicly thank those supervisors who submitted interview questions, because what we want to do is make sure that everyone is involved to some extent in the process. So when we hire an administrator, that we've all had an opportunity to meet or touch or have a conversation with the individual. So thank you who submitted questions. We just ask everyone to continue to keep an eye on your email as we would continue to update the timeline as we move forward through the process. And there may be times that we ask you for your input and your information, and I would just encourage everyone, when we ask for that information, to please give us your input and your information as we go through the process. So thank you very much for that one. The other thing that I would like to announce is, for resolutions, we've been having a little problem with them getting to myself released in a timely manner. So what we're going to be doing, Randy's going to be doing in the next couple of days, is putting together a packet of information that will be emailed out to everyone about the procedures on what we need to be doing about resolutions and how to submit those accurately. So look for that in your email, probably by week's end or the first part of next week for sure. If you have any questions about that, please reach out to Randy directly. And those are all the announcements that I have. Any other announcements for staff? Seeing none, next item, please.
Next item, item 8, recognition of county employees. Wait, item 7, which there are none. Item 8, recognition of county employees or others. 8A, recognizing Rock County Assistant Director Attorney Mary Brickle.
Is there a motion? Motion by Schwartz, second by Wilson. Supervisor Schwartz. All in favor, say aye. 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 Any opposed?
All right, thanks, Chair. So Supervisor Tillman is unfortunately not here tonight, and she would normally be doing this. But I actually have 2 people that we will be going through tonight, and at least professionally, from a perspective, I never did meet them while they were in their profession in a courtroom, so I can be thankful for that. I didn't have to go and do anything. So, but with that, first we're going to be recognizing Rock County Assistant District Attorney Mary Brickle. Mary Brickle graduated from University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire, bachelor's in arts and justice and sociology in '86, and later graduated from UW Law School in '91, where she earned her Juris Doctorate. Mary was a police officer in Chippewa Falls from 1986 to 1988, before returning to law school at UW-Madison. She began her legal career as an intern, Rock County District Attorney's Office, and was subsequently hired as Assistant District Attorney on September 9, 1991, in the Rock County District Attorney's Office. And she has served as a general prosecutor, focusing on child abuse, domestic violence, gun, and drug prosecutions. And she has served Rock County as an Assistant District Attorney since 1991 and intends to retire after over 33 years of service to the citizens of Rock County. She is married to her husband, Bob Bricko, a retired deputy for the Rock County Sheriff's Office, and has a son, Adam. And she has worked her entire legal career in order to make Rock County a better, safer community. She will retire as an Assistant District Attorney for Rock County on December 30th, 2024. So we resolved that the Rock County Board of Supervisors, duly assembled to the 12th of December, does hereby recognize Mary for her years of faithful service and recommends that a sincere expression of appreciation be given to her, along with best wishes for the future. And hopefully she's going somewhere warmer.
Come on up, Mary. And anyone else that would like to come up with her and say a few words as well?
Thank you for your service. Would you like to say anything?
It's been my privilege to serve Rock County. Being a prosecutor is a demanding and stressful job, but it's also very rewarding. And I have been very proud of my 33 years in Rock County. For 28 of those years, I had an amazing boss, David O'Leary, who you're also recognizing tonight. But thank you very much for this. It means a lot to me.
Next item, please.
Next item, item 8B, recognizing Rock County District Attorney David J. O'Leary.
Motion by Schwartz, is there a second? Second by Towns. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Supervisor Schwartz.
Thank you.
Maybe Dave can come up.
Yes, Dave should come up.
He really should.
So, well, thank you. I like your tie. Very nice. So David O'Leary is a lifelong resident of the city of Janesville who graduated from Parker in 1981 and also graduated from Marquette University with a bachelor's in accounting in 1985, 2 years before I did from UWM, and a Juris Doctor in 1988. After his graduation from law school, David O'Leary joined the family law office with his father and brother, serving as a partner and trial litigator at the O'Leary Law Office. And since January 6, 1997, Mr. O'Leary has served Rock County with dedication and distinction as the longest-serving Rock County District Attorney in history. Mr. O'Leary has made Rock County and the state of Wisconsin a better and safer place by promoting evidence-based practices and decision-making in the criminal justice system through his work on state's committees as a leader in Rock County Bar Association and as a member of many local task forces, including Project Safe Schools and the Rock County Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. District Attorney O'Leary also has been a strong advocate and expert at the statewide and national level, including serving as the president of the Wisconsin District Attorneys Association, as a committee member of the statewide Criminal Justice Coordinating Council, and a representative state prosecutors in national trainings on diversion and using risk assessment tools to inform pretrial release and supervision. District Attorney O'Leary has also served our community in countless other ways, including as a basketball coach and official, the president for both hospice care, as well as in the Janesville Noon Kiwanis Club, and as director of the YWCA Rock County Care House, and serving in multiple leadership roles at St. William Catholic Church. He is also recognized as a distinguished Viking by Janesville Parker High School in 2007, and in 2024 was presented the Lifetime Achievement Award by the Wisconsin District Attorneys Association and inducted into the Rock County Hall of Honor as recommended by the Rock County Hall of Honor Committee and the Education and Veterans Committee. So District Attorney O'Leary is retiring from the Rock County District Attorney Office on January 5th, 2025. So be it resolved that the Rock County Board of Supervisors duly assembled the 12th day of December, 2024, does hereby recognize District Attorney David O'Leary for his years of faithful service and recommends that a sincere expression of appreciation be given to him for his exceptional contributions to Rock County, as well as best wishes for the future.
Again, thank you. It's been an honor, as Mary said, serving the citizens of Rock County. I have so many people to thank, it would take too long. You'd probably run out of food, so I don't want to, I can't go individually, but Ann Knack, my deputy DA, has been with me since the start, all the parade marching. I have told people repeatedly, it's her uncle's fault that I got this job. I started practicing with my dad and brother. When I was in Milwaukee, I was trying to get in the Milwaukee DA's office, and I kind of gave up that dream. And then around here, I kept running into attorneys at the courthouse saying, hey, I hear you're running for DA. I think you do a really good job. I'm like, who is telling you this? And I finally tracked it down to her uncle, J.J. McWilliams, was the one that was running around. And when I finally confronted him, I'm like, what are you doing, J.J.? And he's like, I just think we need a good Irishman up there. So he became my campaign manager. I ran. I told him one of the hardest things I had to do in my life was going to my father and tell him I really want to be a prosecutor. He supported me all the way. And again, family and friends support has been incredible. But what I'm, again, proud of and comfortable leaving is I've got a really phenomenal office in the DA's office. We've got an incredible staff down there, very dedicated people working with just, you know, the horrors that happen in our community all wind up in our desk trying to figure out how to keep our community safe, how to, you know, invoke justice for the citizens of Rock County. And I think we've done a really nice job over the years, but it's all a part and thanks to my staff. So thank you to all of them. And I look forward to turning off my cell phone in January and not having the phone calls and delegating that to the new staff. So thank you very much for the recognition.
Sorry. That's all right. Sorry. Look like you're frozen. Like you're so excited to leave. Last torture. Thank you.
Glad I didn't wear my Grinch tie.
That's good. That's good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item, item 9, introduction of new resolutions or ordinances by supervisors for referral to appropriate committee.
Thank you. At this time, if any supervisor has any new resolutions and ordinances that they would like to present at this time, please bring them forward. Seeing none, next item, please.
Next item, item 10, reports. There are no reports this evening. Item 11, new business. 11A, supplementary appropriations and budget changes. A1, allocating additional ARPA funds to tornado victims and HealthNet and amending the 2024 budget.
There a motion? Motion by Towns. Is there a second? Second by Bryan. Supervisor Boswick.
Okay, we're to the point now where we have some ARPA funds left over. And we were trying to figure out what to do with those, and a survey was sent out not too long ago asking supervisors what they thought. And the two that did receive support through the email process were the tornado victims and also HealthNet. So it was decided at the staff committee that we would divide the remaining funds between those two entities, 50-50. So that's where we are right now.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Is there any questions or comments? Seeing none, this is roll call. Please vote.
26 yes, 0 no, 3 absent.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item, 11B, contracts. We do not have any contracts this evening. 11C, amending 3.103 of the Rock County Code of Ordinances, Public Peace and Order, Part 1, Traffic Code.
Is there a motion to approve? Is there a motion? Motion by Wilson. Is there a second? Second by Towns. Supervisor Mawini?
I'll call on Dewey for this one.
Yeah, do it.
All right, good evening. This amendment to the ordinances basically addresses two speed zones that we have. One is on County G, which is just south of Janesville. The city of Janesville requested access to County G for an industrial development that they're continuing to expand. The committee approved that. As part of that, we did a traffic study, and the recommendation was to move that 45-mile-an-hour speed limit south about 1,100 feet. There's going to be a signalized intersection there, so it makes sense to slow traffic down as they're coming into that section. The other one is on County M. A year or two ago, there's a rail spur that got added in crossing County M just outside of Milton. As part of that, our speed zone changed right where that crossing was in that vicinity. And our signs could not be within the railroad right-of-way or impede vision of their signs. So as part of that, we moved that, I don't know, 600, 700 feet south so that we're slowing traffic down before it gets to the rail crossing. So that's basically what we're looking at.
Thank you. Any questions? Any questions? Seeing none, we do have a motion and a second. This is roll call. It's not, it doesn't have to be what, well, since I said it's going to be roll call, this one will be roll call. Please vote.
Yes, 26, no, 0, 3 absent.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item, 11D, extending authorization of the ad hoc committee on passenger rail development.
Is there a motion? Motion by Sutherland. Is there a second? Second by Raskin. Supervisor Sutherland.
Thank you, Chairman Levy. The Rock County Board in Resolution R 2022-82 expressed support for a Rock County service connection. In Resolution 2023-189, Rock County Board authorized the creation of the Ad Hoc Committee on Passenger Rail Development. The committee has received valuable information and insights establishing these goals. Since its formation, there have been announcements of new and expanded Amtrak and Metra throughout the region. Rock County Board of Supervisors in Resolution R 2024-498, October 10th of this year, authorized the county administrator or designee to request support from the state of Wisconsin in the 2025-2027 biannual budget to fund a commuter passenger rail study with a designated corridor to include Rock County, which staff is currently working on. The resolution before you tonight, R 2024-530, outlines the progression of the ad hoc from a specific assignment to a more general scope based on recent decisions in the region. Some of those being Amtrak and the Department of Transportation locating a connection to Madison from the Milwaukee-Minneapolis line, and Metro connection from Chicago to Rockford. This resolution enables the county to communicate and gather support from regional stakeholders, to work with regional planning organizations within the corridor, to research grants and other county funding sources to boost the planning effort, and, as soon as funding is available and authorized, to develop a request for a proposal to complete the study required by the Department of Transportation to determine whether the passenger rail is achievable. At this time, I'd like to give special thanks to the ad hoc committee as these members have focused their own time on this, not just periodic meetings. Our intent is to only meet when necessary to conduct business. In closing, passing this resolution, 2024-520, gives the county 100% opportunity to keep the conversation going, to obtain and preserve a rail corridor through Rock County, and to be consistent with the request to the governor October 2nd of this year. Thank you.
Thank you. We do have a motion and we do have a second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in, Supervisor Schwartz.
Thanks, Chair. When I look at this, I'm sort of curious, whose time and how much of it are we actually looking at having staff do? So I'm a little concerned that they're going to be doing a lot of work, and I'm start to wonder of what is the purpose of the subcommittee if all the work is going to be done on staff. I don't see where this is going to go personally, as far as from a rail perspective. Passenger rail is an outdated mode, and it probably isn't going to work well without a lot of ridership here. But that's just my opinion on that. So I'm just not sure we need a subcommittee to actually handle this. This does roll up to a committee, and I would think they'd be able to handle all these things. So that's where I will not be supporting this.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Supervisor Fugelseth.
Thank you, Chair. I had some questions and concerns over comments about the railways reaching out to Madison and to Rockford. And from a business perspective, if Rock County is the place to come to and in the place to be, we should be being approached by Amtrak and the railroad companies, not the other way around. And that's something I'm concerned about, is time, effort, and maybe lost productivity on something that, if it's in the best interest and it makes a business or financial sense for the railways, they will come to us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Gorman.
Hi there. I don't know a lot about passenger rail, and I already hear that there's a couple opinions on it now. I understand we as a board just a couple weeks ago passed a resolution asking the state to put in the next state budget money for a study on passenger rail in Rock County, I believe so. So we have created this committee. We've asked the governor and the state to fund a study into it as a majority of the board. And I was actually at an event with the governor last night where he said he intended to make passenger rail across the state a priority in his upcoming budget. So whatever happens with passenger rail, I think there might be possibilities, and we should discuss and debate it, and having a committee to continue to look into it in detail is probably a good idea. I don't think we need to take a position on passenger rail tonight, but it is going to be an issue that isn't going away, and I'm going to vote to keep this committee in existence. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, we do have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Should we do a roll call?
Yeah, if you want.
Can we do a roll call on that? We just want to make sure that we get accurate reporting. So once again, all those, please vote at this time.
Yes, 15, no, 11, 3 absent.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item, 11E, establishment of the Rock County Youth and Governance Pilot Program.
There a motion by Wilson. Is there a second? Second by Sutherland. Supervisor Sutherland? Or Wilson?
Wilson, go first, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. You have before you a Youth and Governance Pilot Program resolution that builds on the report that was provided in October from the ad hoc committee that looked at the feasibility of establishing this program. The committee determined that rather than asking for an ongoing program to be added to Rock County, that we essentially try a pilot program for a single year. We want to make sure that we get this right. This is not an earth-shattering kind of a proposal. There are multiple counties in the state of Wisconsin who already have similar successful programs. However, we're recommending starting small. There would be in the first class of students admitted to this program somewhere between 4 and 8 students. They would be paired and would participate in standing committees. The standing committees would vote to authorize hosting students within those committees. So the determination of how many will come from votes of those committees. We have a assent from the chairs of standing committees that are student-friendly hours. In other words, we looked at all the standing committees. There are 8 standing committees that meet either late afternoons or evenings. We didn't think it was feasible to suggest having the students participate in committees that met during the day. So the universe of committee possibilities is 8. We approached the chair persons of those 8 committees. All 8 indicated a willingness to take this to their committees and ask whether they wish to host students. And so the basis of whether or not we have 4 or 8 will really depend on the action that the committees take. There are multiple benefits to this program. They're outlined in your resolution. We hear a lot about civics education and a lack of understanding of government on the part of young people. I will address the issue of whether or not this is duplicative. One of the things that the ad hoc committee did was look at other similar programs. And the way that we look at it, the way the committee looked at it, is that this is a add-on to those possibilities. It's different from classroom learning in civics. It's hands-on learning. And we know that there's a real effort within the educational community to provide hands-on, real-time opportunities for learning, and that learning is enhanced in that framework. So we would ask for your assent to establish a pilot program. The pilot program would begin, the first class recruitment would happen late January and early February. The first students involved would be here in April, and the first class would be from April to April. We established that April to April calendar based on providing students with a full budget cycle and giving them an opportunity to watch sort of the lead up to the budget conclusion, and a little bit of follow-up until the next election date. The final thing that I'll say is that one of the responsibilities of the ad hoc committee that would continue to oversee this program for the pilot program would be to come back to the county board in September of 2025 with both an evaluation of how the program has unfolded during the year and a recommendation as to whether or not to continue the program or discontinue the program for a second year. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Supervisor Sutherland.
Thank you, Chairman Levy. Having attended all the ad hoc committee exploring this program, I was taken aback by a student on the committee. He spoke to us this evening at the podium, Max Olson. He helped put the committee ideas and thoughts in words when we had a lot of ideas and a lot of thoughts that needed to be put in words, which, while listening to others and youth, it just really impressed me. also firsthand example through investigation of programs like this, how many adults in public service and public office had gone through a program similar to this. Our own director of the Health Department, Katrina Hartwood, and Supervisor Brian Knutson, both of whom gave me permission to share with the board tonight. And if I may, I'll read Katrina Hartwood's first. While in high school in Montana, I participated in youth and government all 4 years. While the experience was different from how youth and government programs operate in Wisconsin, in Montana, we had a mock state government with elections for governor, designated representatives and senators, and a Supreme Court. It did provide me with some valuable insights on how government operates and how opportunities residents have to engage with government. Additionally, the experience opened my eyes to what it means to work in service to a community. I'm excited for the possibility of having a youth and government program in Rock County as one way to build the next generation of leaders. Next, I'd like to read Brian Knutson. Brian starts off saying, I apologize, I'm not able to attend a county board meeting this evening. I will be with a group of community volunteers packing food, gift, and toy packages to distribute to children and their families in the rural areas of Rock County for the Children's Christmas benefit at the Janesville Innovation Center. It is at core work night for all of us. I'm very much in support of the establishment of a Rock County Youth and Government's pilot program. Our youth are our future, and education is paramount. I was involved in a similar program in Rock County when I was in high school, and it had a big impact on my interest in getting involved in our community and in local government. There is a big difference between textbook learning and real-life experience learning. With the opportunity to participate in this type of program, it gave me firsthand insight as to how our local government operated at every level of county government, from spending time with the department heads and frontline workers to watching committee meetings and the ability to ask questions. Having the opportunity to attend meetings and learning about everything from parliamentary procedure, protocols, to spending time in departments learning the functions of the office opened my eyes to real-life operations of government. Textbook education is great, but having the ability for students to capture the real-life aspect and see government in action firsthand is a wonderful education opportunity for students. We need to provide opportunities to learning to youth who are interested in getting involved in this community. It is up to each and every one of us to provide educational opportunities to the future leaders of this county. Our youth are our future. Thank you.
Anyone else? Supervisor Frugaseth.
Thank you, Chair. I want to add on to my fellow supervisors and their comments in support of youth and government. I believe it was as recent as 2017 that civics was required in the high schools in Wisconsin. And to have to pass an immigration citizenship test at 65% is embarrassingly dismal. In 2021, Wisconsin Public Radio published an article that included a report from the Thomas Fordham Institute. And they ranked Wisconsin with a grade of F for civics. And it was primarily because U.S. history is not specifically required or civics courses in high school. There are no suggestions for scope or sequence for social studies. And if you do take social studies, the civics, it just needs to be 3 credits. That includes state and local government focusing on broad themes. Instead of mandating specific content, like studying the Bill of Rights, perhaps even the First Amendment, or the Civil War. So this youth and government program offers us a chance to be the mentors and coaches to teach what is not taught in textbooks or even perhaps the schools by a lack of that content being in the curriculum, critical thinking, and real-life participatory experience. Thank you.
Supervisor Schneider.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to thank all of the supervisors who have put hard work into this, as well as Max Olson. He has spoken at the UW Extension meetings, and very impressive for a sophomore in high school, very well spoken, and I really appreciate his energy in looking at this. I think it's a great idea. I agree that a class and a textbook is very different than real life experience where you're actually involved in government. So I think that's a really great thing. I just wanted to bring up a couple of questions that maybe Supervisor Wilson can answer. Is there, as far as transportation, would students involved in this have to provide their own transportation? That was a question one of my constituents asked me, because it could be a barrier for certain kids not being able to get where they need to be, especially the regular board meetings, if they can't, I'm not sure the Zoom qualifications. And then also, just speaking about public comment getting 2 minutes, is there a certain time limit they're able to speak at meetings, or is that just part of the process that we're just going to allow them an unlimited amount of speaking time? I just wanted to make sure I address both of those questions.
Supervisor Wilson.
Thank you.
Yeah, both of those, thank you, Mr. Chair. Both of those items are items that have been discussed by the ad hoc committee that looked at the program. A decision was made not to provide reimbursement for transportation in the pilot program. Some of the other programs in some of the other counties do in fact provide reimbursement for mileage. This one does not, at least for the pilot period. And part of that recommendation that I mentioned in September of '25 would speak to that. Essentially, what we're saying is we want the program to be no cost to the county for that initial period of time. And we do recognize that that could be a barrier to some students that might want to be involved. In terms of participation, the way that the committee envisions it really, and it was captured in the report that was filed, the individual committee chairs would have a great deal of latitude in terms of the protocol that would be used. The students would be at the table. However, the resolution makes it clear that the students are not members of the committee, do not have voting rights in the committee, and so the latitude would really be the committee chair that the student is assigned to.
Thank you. Supervisor Woodman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I fully support this program, but I would also caution that we not limited it, because last night at Human Services, we had 4 students from Beloit Memorial High School come to participate as citizens watching the meeting, and they had to go back and report to their class, and I would certainly encourage that and don't want to discourage that. I think that was great that they came and we invited them back. So thank you.
Okay. Supervisor Towns.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just had to say, in my previous life, I did mentor some high school students and university students as unpaid interns in my office, and they were young people who had an interest in serving in government. And probably the most enlightening thing to me in working with them was when the light bulb went on that government is really to serve the people, and that decisions we make in government have impact on almost everybody's lives. And it is rewarding, and I think I'm just pleased that I'm hoping that there are some young people in our county who are interested in finding out how decisions that the county board makes impacts the people in this county. So I think this is an exciting thing to try. We decided to do it as a pilot because we weren't sure how many young people would be interested, but I hope they step up and are, and I'm kind of looking forward to it, so I hope it passes.
Thank you. Supervisor Schwartz?
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, we've also had a PSNJ Beloit students sitting and not participating, but certainly being at the meeting, having sort of talk after the meeting. My concern with this is the amount of time or during discussion that non-committee members are going to be able to have, where our constituents only get a random amount of time in the beginning of the meeting that are not part of an active discussion. So I think we're probably, I'm struggling with supporting it just over that reason. I just think we're putting certain people over the rest of our constituents and what their ability to bring influence on a committee. I will say that I would feel better about it if in the rules it was very clear as to what can happen and cannot happen in a discussion on item. If they're not an active committee member, what is the ability? And if we're going to give a lot of latitude to chairs, I think there's going to have to be some guidelines around that latitude. Right now, in its form, I'm not supportive of this, although I'm very much supportive of youth being there, seeing things, having the discussions outside of the actual meetings, but definitely as being active participants in a debate is putting them above our constituents. So for that reason, at this point, I'm not going to support this.
Okay, thank you. Any other Supervisor Peer?
Finally got the green light. I just think that disregarding the things that may or may not happen, fears that may, at this time at least, are unknown, I think in general, we should really encourage young people to do positive things like this. We all hear about too often the negative aspect in the press and things like that, and I just think we should really, really encourage those who want to make a positive impact on their community and their education. I think it's a great thing. As far as the things that have been mentioned that could possibly have a potential to be a little negative, I think that's the good thing about this being a pilot program, and that we can see those things as they come forth and take care of those. And I think the committee has done a good job so far, and I think they'll do a good job with that and adjustments. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Supervisor Bob-Zine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We had some students stop at our Veterans and Education Committee meeting, and they were the only citizens that have ever come to that meeting. And we were grateful, like Mr. Pierce said, we were grateful to have them there. They were attentive, they were polite, and I think we should leave it to the committee chairperson, whoever they may be, to run the meeting. You know, give the guy some latitude, or gal. You know, it's a learning experience. And yeah, like Mr. Pierce said, it's a pilot program. This is where we, fix the kinks before they happen, before we do it in real time.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm for it, and I encourage young people to get involved.
Okay, thank you. We do have a motion and a second. At this time, I'm going to ask that we vote by roll call. Please vote.
Supervisor Pennycook? Yes, 24, no 2, 3 absent.
Thank you. That passes. Next item, please.
Next item, 11F, to ratify the 2024-2025 labor agreement between Rock County and the Deputy Sheriff's Association.
Is there a motion? Motion by Schwartz, is there a second? Second by Bryan. Supervisor Schwartz?
Thanks, Chair. This resolution is to actually move the agreement between Rock County and Deputy Sheriff's Association that is subject to 11.70 of Wisconsin statutes. The representatives of the Deputy Sheriff's Association have met the county's bargaining team in an attempt to arrive at a mutual agreement on wages, hours, and conditions, which they have. And the proposed wage settlement represents an across-the-board increase of 6% on June 1st, 2024, so it's retro. The proposed wage settlement represents an across-board wage increase of 2% on January 1st, 2025. And the membership of the association has ratified the agreement. So I will be pushed to have this approved.
Okay, we do have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, please, I want this to be a roll call too. Please vote. Sorry.
Yes, 26, no, 0, 3 absent.
That passes. Next item, please.
Next item, approving the 2025 base wage rates for all employees except represented law enforcement employees and amending the wage grid.
Is there a motion? Is there a motion? Motion by Towns, second by Gorman. I'm going to ask if Amy would come forward and brief us on this one, please.
Good evening. This resolution is to give the across-the-board increase that was included in the 2025 budget of the 3% for all non-bargained employee groups. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Seeing none, we had a motion. Supervisor Bob Z.
I do have a question. Bearing in mind what we heard in the news recently about Act 10, and it might be unconstitutional, we'll find out in the near future. So there may be more, am I wrong, or there will be more bargaining units to deal with, right?
There could be.
There could be. There could be. All right. Does this, can we amend this? Like, say halfway through the year, there's a union again. How do we
My
deal with that?
opinion is if Act 10 would be fully reenacted, we would be sitting down and having to have bargaining sessions for all collective bargaining groups. We would, effectively policies and procedures would be dismantled, going back into labor agreements. And so at the time, when I started in 2000, we had about 10 labor agreements. And so, we would have to go through that whole process of reestablishing that. So, nobody really knows what the future looks like regarding Act 10. And so we just kind of are going along with what we know at this time. And then as we get more information, we will have to reevaluate what that looks like for our employees.
Thank you very much. That was
Any
great.
other questions? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second. Please vote at this time.
Yes, 24, no, 2, 3 absent.
Thank you. That item passes as well. Next item, please.
Next item is adjournment.
Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Sutherland, second by Boswick. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned.